There's a good chance you've never heard the name Jim McLaren, but he's been able to influence the lives of millions of people around the world.
A friend of ours was a 300-pound offensive lineman at Yale, and back in 1985, he was taking acting classes in New York City, going to class on his motorcycle when he got hit by a New York City bus, thrown 90 feet in the air, dead on arrival, loses his leg below the knee, a lot of internal injuries, but he lives. And then 8 years later, he's racing in Mission Viejo. A van goes through a closed intersection, hits the back of his bike, propels him headfirst into a pole. A guy who's already an amputee becomes a quadriplegic.
Bob Babbitt, along with two of his buddies, decided to help a friend in need and raise $50,000 to buy Jim a van. Three women took notice and told Bob he might be onto something.
And said, it's great we did for Jimmy, but did you know when you get injured, your health insurance will cover a walking around leg or an everyday wheelchair. Nothing to do with sport is covered by insurance because they consider sport a quote-unquote luxury item. And everybody out there knows that sport is a huge part of who we are and what we do. So at that point, we became an official charity and decided if someone needed a piece of equipment, training, or travel to stay in the game of life through sport forever and a day, CAF would be there.
And with that, the Challenge Athletes Foundation was born. In the 30 years of its existence, CAF has raised close to $160 million and given hope to those who've lost a limb.
Back in the day, charity was all about late night commercials, Sally Struthers, violin music, feel sorry for me, please help. We were never like that. And I wanted our athletes, and we wanted our athletes to be powerful. We didn't want them to be pathetic. We didn't want them to be looked down upon. We wanted our athletes to be, to be more than.
Back when I first started, disability was often looked at as a bad thing, as a pity story. Now it's empowerment. It's showing others, even without disabilities, that we may do things differently, but that's okay because being different is what makes us who we are.
And having these role models, every time we were working with an athlete, Rudy understood from the very beginning. He's in it for the next kid, right? He's there because that next kid doesn't know where the journey is going to go. Rudy does know.
Rudy Garcia Tolson had both legs amputated when he was 5, and with the help of CAF, was able to become a 2-time gold medalist and 5-time medalist in the Paralympic Games. But Rudy is just one of CAF's many success stories.
If we were a nation in the Paralympics, at the last Winter Paralympics, we would have been 6th in the medal count, right? Because so many of these Paralympic athletes are getting they're getting their start, they're getting their grants, they're getting their travel from CAF.
Last year alone, CAF secured nearly 4,000 grants totaling $7 million, all in hopes of allowing people who need the help to regain some sense of normalcy in their lives.
Every time you leave the house, the spotlight is on you. You don't blend. You don't blend. So you either embrace it or you shrink from it. And 99.9% of the kids and adults we work with, they embrace it. There's so many parents who will tell you, we're in Haven, South Dakota. My child is the only amputee there. They've never seen anybody like them. They come out here and there's legs laying all over the ground, right? And one mom told me, she goes, for 356 days a year, he feels different. He feels that he's alone. And he comes out here and feels like he's like everybody else.
Which is one of the core values of CAF, giving everyone a sense of worth beyond the pools, tracks, or fields.
Very few people are working here because of the money. We have a lot of people here who had jobs with Sony or Petco. They had great jobs other places that were jobs. This is a mission. This is something that is your legacy, and you will take it with you forever.